Hey guys, it's Landon Blake with TBAS-Surveyor.org. This is another video in a set of videos that we're doing on unit conversions, how to convert from one unit of measurement to another unit of measurement. Because I'm a land surveyor, we're dealing mostly with units that are related to length and area. We did a little bit on volumes in one of the other videos, but we're mostly worried about length and area. So in this video, I want to talk specifically about the metric system and how you convert from feet to metric. And there's two different kinds of feet we have to worry about, the US survey foot and the international foot. I hate the metric unit system, but a lot of people love it, and it's basically used everywhere in the world except for the United States. Even though I don't like the metric system, if you're a land surveyor, you have to know how to work in the metric system. You have to understand the metric system. And the reason why is, there's a couple reasons why. One is most of our equipment manufacturers list the accuracy or precision specifications for their equipment in metric units. And that's important if you're a surveyor, because you need to be able to determine how precise your measurements are going to be with a particular piece of equipment. And the other reason is the lovely folks over at National Geodetic Survey who define our national datums, because they are scientists and not land surveyors. They also work in metric units. And so if you want to get onto the national datums, you have to be somewhat familiar with metric values. Okay, so let's just talk for a couple minutes about how units work in the metric system, and then we're going to see how we convert from the two different kinds of feet into meters, okay, into metric units. So the metric system is a base 10 system, okay, so it's based on units of 10, okay, or factors of 10. So the basic unit is the meter. Okay, so a meter is about 3 feet, 3 US feet. Okay, so if you see this number here that I've written in metric, 232.561, this tells you here there's 232 meters. Okay, and then on the other side of the decimal, we have some different units. Okay, so this first digit on the right side of the decimal, that's tenths of meters. So those are called decimeters. Deci means 10. Okay, decimeters. Okay, so that's 5 decimeters in this number. Okay, we don't use decimeters a whole lot. Okay, so what we usually talk about is centimeters. So a centimeter takes a meter and divides it into 100 parts. Okay, so a decimeter divides a meter into 10 parts. A centimeter divides a meter into 100 parts. So this is 56 centimeters. Okay, 56 centimeters or 5.6 decimeters. Okay, and then finally out here we have millimeters. Okay, so we have here, this is 1 millimeter. Okay, or this would be 561 millimeters. Okay, millimeters divide a meter into 1,000 parts. Okay. Okay, and then you can go the other direction too. Okay, so once you get to 1,000 meters, you get to what we call kilometers. Okay. So if I put an 8 on the front over here, okay, now this is the 1,000. This is 1,000 meters, okay, and 1,000 meters is a kilometer. Okay, that's a kilometer, 1,000 meters. Okay, and then of course they have names as you keep going, but these are, we're dealing from kilometers to millimeters usually, and we usually can't measure in millimeters. Surveyors can't usually measure in millimeters. We just can't measure that good. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick rundown of the metric system. People like the metric system because it's base 10 and it's easy to work with. Okay, but there's some other advantages. People hate on the imperial unit system with feet and inches, but there's some advantages to base 12. So for example, you can't divide a unit system based on base 10 doesn't divide evenly into 3, but a unit system based on 12 units does. So it's a mix and match. Okay, so that's how meters work. Okay, so we have a couple of feet units in the United States that surveyors have to know about. Surveyors are the really only ones that have to know the difference. Maybe some GIS folks also, but and the reason why is the 2 feet are almost exactly the same. There's a very small difference in the distance or the length of the 2 feet. But over large distances, miles and miles, you can notice the difference. So we have to know, surveyors have to know about these two. So we have the US survey foot, okay, or the survey foot. That's the original foot. This is the foot from the old days, okay, and it's the foot that surveyors most commonly use. Okay, but there's a new foot, so at some point, I can't remember the exact year, they went in and they changed the definition of the meter, okay, based on some scientific parameters. And when they did that, they decided to change the foot too. I don't know why. I think it was a crazy idea. I think that person should be found and hung up by their big toes somewhere, but it is what it is, and we can't do anything about it now. So of the international foot, okay, so one survey foot. Now these two numbers you need to memorize if you're a land surveyor. Okay, one survey foot is 3.28083333, and the threes keep going meters. Okay, so a little over a third of a meter. An international foot is 3.2808399895 meters exactly. Okay, so you can see these numbers are basically the same till you get all the way out here. Into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't become different till you get to the 6th decimal place. Okay, so this is decimeters, centimeters, millimeters, and we're like 3 more places out before you see a difference. Okay, and I don't even know what that's called in the metric system, but it's really small. Okay, so that's the difference between the 2 feet. Okay, so let's just do some simple unit conversions. So let's say we have a metric value that's 316.82 meters, and we want to know what is that in US survey feet. Okay, so what is that value in US survey feet? Okay, and then just for fun, we'll say, what is that value in international feet? IF. Okay, and we're going to take our answer to the nearest thousandth of a foot. Okay, that's usually the smallest unit we deal with as surveyors in feet. So we'll go to the nearest thousandth of a foot, and we'll see if there's a difference there. I brought a second calculator today, second phone, so I could have a calculator, second calculator. All right. So let's just do this math real quick. Okay, so to figure this out, US survey feet, we're going to take 316.82 times this number here. Okay, so here's the answer I get. Let me just write this math out for you guys though so you can see it. Okay, so we're going to take 316.82 and we're going to multiply it by 3.28083. Okay, and that gives us our answer, which is 1039.43, and then if I round, 434. Okay, that's in feet. Okay, this is metric, that's feet. So that's survey feet. Okay, now we're going to take that same number here and we're going to multiply it times the international foot conversion, 3.2808 39895. Okay, and we'll see what number we get. Okay, 316.82 times 3.2808 39895. Okay, so the answer I get is 1039.436. Okay, 436. Okay, so you can see at a little over 1,000 feet, we've got 2/1000ths of a foot difference between the 2 feet. Okay, which we can't measure as surveyors. We can't measure that. Okay, so what that tells me is in order to see 2/100ths, you'd have to go about 2 miles, 10,000 feet before you could see 100th or 2 in the difference between these. Okay, so you got to go a long ways before you see a difference in the 2-foot definitions. Okay, and just so you can see here, right, the international foot is slightly longer than the survey foot. Okay. Now, if you want to go from meters to feet, if you want to go from feet to meters, you just do the opposite. Okay, so if I have 282 0.18 feet, and I want to know what is that in, this is US feet, and I want to know what is that in meters. Okay, we just take this number divided by that conversion. Okay, and that'll give us the value in meters, this value in meters. Okay, so 2.18 divided by 3.280833333333 equals, okay, so this is 86.008 meters. Okay, and typically in meters, I'll carry things out to the millimeter, okay, because the centimeter is 2 or 3 hundredths. So, okay, so that's the value in metric. Okay, now let me just show you one other thing, quick thing. So let's just say on your new survey instrument you bought, that the manufacturer tells you that you ought to be able to measure a distance at two standard deviation or 95% confidence. Don't worry if you don't know what that means, but let's just say they tell you, hey, you ought to be able to measure a distance with this instrument to 4 millimeters at 95% confidence, okay? So 4 millimeters, okay? So we want to know, well, how good is that in feet? Okay, so we're going to say, how good is that in survey feet? So we're going to, because like I mentioned before, most manufacturers give you their accuracy specs in meters. So we're going to go 0.004 meters times 3.280833333 equals, okay, and what that tells me is we can measure to about 100th, rounds down to 100th of a foot. Okay, so 4 millimeters is pretty good measurement precision. Okay, so there you go, guys. There's some quick ideas on how you convert between feet to meters and meters to feet, feet to meters, meters to feeters, and we'll do a couple more unit conversion videos.